So in the second part of the lecture now is the uh, some some handouts I will explain, and some additional things I will explain here about the suggested analysis and design procedure for combined and mat footing that is reported by ACI committee. The committee members are written here, and they have explained about all the things that we have studied. Basically, this is the review, and I have provided these handouts to you, that how the committee, ACI committee, review the design procedures for the mat footing, for the isolated footing, for the combined footing. What is the load, what is the maximum minimum pressure, and when the pressure is zero, and what is the effect when there is some movement is present. Then the combined footing effect, what is the combined footing, when what is the pressure under the combined footings, and some things which are additional to the simple discussions are and the mat footing and other type of the mat footing, hollow mat footing. The concept of those are discussed, although this mat is not the part of our course in this semester, but they are explaining the things, computer aided requirements and FEM requirements for these all footings. When you have to go for the advanced analysis, when there are the 3D effects are needed, and you consider the mat as a spring footing. So these handouts are generally helpful to you for watching the different parameters and understanding about these footings. Herein I provide you another handouts which are deductions from the book, extracted from the book, and although in the another units, but lot of other problems are also discussed here, because we have solved 3-4 problems in the class also about the footing, but like some problem related to the bending moment, eccentricity cases, biaxial cases. So these problems, and also the bearing strength of the column, um, Dawes requirements. So these problems are solved here. This is a one isolated footing problem. The first example, the same procedure, only few formulas may be different in the FPS system. Then the dowel requirement, LD requirement. So here you can see the question that you were asking. You can further see that what are the requirement, what is needed. Then come the second one, also problem is a simple same problem, but it's having a different load with a different bearing capacity. And here the bearing strength is also computed for the column, like whether the bearing strength was column and it's lesser or larger, and the dowels was required. So dowel are also computed. Then comes a rectangular footing. Then the same footing of this previous problem is designed as a not a square but rectangular footing. And I have told you that when you are designing the rectangular footing, you need extra reinforcement in the central bandwidth of the footing. And that central bandwidth is equal to the width B. So how much extra steel is needed in the bandwidth is gamma S into AS. And after computing all the steel requirement, you give the larger steel into the central bandwidth. That gamma S into AS is 83% is the gamma S value. So 83% steel will be provided in the band, central band for the rectangular footing. So this is also an isolated footing, but rectangular isolated footing. And you give the congested reinforcement under the band, in within the band, and larger spacing outside the band. So here also the bearing is checked, and you see that when you have the larger, smaller width, your projected area goes out of the column. So this was also explained in the class, and here it is solved also completely, that when the area go out, you cannot consider the outer part So A2 will be reduced because you can only consider the A2 till the available width of the footing. So this way. And then also the development length computed and dowel bars requirements. Then one of the problem is given that if you need the equal settlement, determine the footing area for equal settlement, balanced footing design, and live load reduction is also considered. So you fix the area of the footing. Load over allowable bearing pressure for the third footing. This is for the third footing. So you will compute that the load coming on the one footing, the pressure should be same on under the all footing, then the settlement will also be same. So in this way you can compute and play with the values. Try to read it. Then comes the piece plain concrete footing for the masonry concrete wall. This is not for the masonry wall but for the strip footing. So this problem is also solved, how to compute the width of the footing, how to compute the moment. So RCC wall footing, and it's not difficult to design. It's simply like formula and you just compute the load and one-way shear and design the footing. Then when the footing load is applied at some eccentricity, so when eccentricity is present, I have told you that there are three conditions, that eccentricity is less than L by 6, then this is the pressure P over A plus My over I. Putting the value of the A, L into B is the length and width of the footing, and you can compute all the values of the maximum and minimum pressure. The second one is the E equal to L by 6, then this is the pressure. And when E larger than L by 6, then this is the pressure. So the pressure is a trapezoidal when E is less than L by 6. Pressure is a triangular when E is equal to L by 6. Pressure is a basically tensile pressure is also developed when E is larger than L by 6. So this is explained here again that when your load is present away from the centroid of the footing, then movement is present. When the movement is present, you have to consider the pressure which is obtained from the movement diagram, not from the including the movement. UDL is not considered in that case. Then I have also explained in the class about the biaxial footing, but I have written a general formula that when the moment when the eccentricity is present in both the directions, here you can see that eccentricity is load is acting here, so eccentricity is present in x direction and also in the y direction. So this will develop the moment My also in this direction and Mx also in this direction. So due to that movement, you know that you have to see that where this movement is developing the tension, where this is a compression. The general pressure under the footing when it is a biaxial, under the biaxial cases is P over A plus minus My over I, Mx into Y over Ix plus My into X over Iy plus minus. So how to decide the plus minus? Let's say you are computing the pressure at point 4. So at point 4, the effect of the Mx movement is positive. It means compressive. The Mx movement that is developing the compression at 4 point. But My is developing the compression on the right side at 1 and 2 point. And My is developing the tension on the 3-4 point. So therefore, you have to see the plus minus sign. So it is plus with the mx, but minus with the my. So when any movement is developing the tension, that point comes out to be the minus. So these 1, 2, 3, 4 are the four corners, and the pressure computed at the four corner is from by these formula. Plus minus, you have to basically you must understand the concept of the plus and minus. When any movement is developing the compression, then the pressure will be positive, and when it is developing the tension, then the pressure will be negative. So you have here in this problem actually all these four pressures are written, but these you cannot design it manually, because if the pressure are highly irregular, then the line diagram or even this diagram cannot be obtained, because when I will cut the section, it is a contour type of variation, where somewhere the pressure is more, somewhere less high. So for this design, you can use the computer aided software safe for designing this type of footing, but you can compute the pressure manually, because this pressure, and you can compute also at many other points, and reason is that then you are able to fully understand the pressure variation under these kinds of footing. So this problem is basically example footing under biaxial movement is explained, and here then example is given where the movements are also present. So this is a footing where the bending moment is also present and eccentricity is there. So there is a trapezoidal pressure. So when there is a trapezoidal pressure, you have to consider that load, not the UDL, and you can convert the load into the UDL and the uniformly varying load of the triangular load. You can convert that. So in that case, you can design that load. ये 111 जो है ना, ये म्यूट कर दें. So in that case, you are computing it, and all the pressure values are UDL and the UVL are computed now. And then you have to design procedure is same, but you must main point is the area should be accurate, the pressure diagram should be accurate. Then you are able to design the footing properly. So try working on these additional problem yourself, and then it will be easy for you to understand all the topic, because theoretically speaking, the design of foundation is over, and we will start the next topic now. So I will provide you these two handouts also today that were discussed, and you should try practicing about these problems. Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask. If you have any question?
ब्रेक दे दें सर 10 मिनट की.